Insurance agents from around the world, welcome to the Insurance Guys podcast, hosted by yours truly, Scott Howell, and the incomparable Bradley Flowers. For agents, by agents, we're here to share real-life experiences, tips, and insights related to all aspects of both being an insurance agent and running a successful agency. So sit back, turn up the volume, and let's get down to business. Insurance agents from around the world, welcome to the Insurance Guys podcast. My name is Scott Howell. I'm your fearless host. I am joined today by the incomparable Mr. Bradley Flowers. How are you, Bradley?
Good, Scott. How are you doing today? I'm so excited for today's show.
This is going to be incredible. Insurance agents, I don't care where you are. I don't care who you're with. I don't care if you're a captive agent, an independent agent. I don't care. I don't care what business you're in. You need to be listening and watching this podcast. Guys, we have a very special guest today with us, and I am fired up about having him on the show. Today's guest is Mr. Joe McCloskey. Joe, I guess to start out with, his father actually owned McCloskey Motors in Colorado Springs. He was the number one dealer in the nation for about 3 years, and Joe actually worked for him until he was 31. And at that time, he kind of had the idea, the light bulb came on, and he took his father's idea for commercials and has duplicated it on Facebook. And today's episode, we're going to be talking about subliminal advertising. And guys, let me tell you a little bit, before I introduce him and bring him on, let me tell you a little bit about what he did. He's the guy that you've all seen that got 45 million. Let me repeat that. 45 million views on Facebook, on a Facebook video. The one, and if you've seen it, it's the one where he's sitting at the table and he's trying to eat this fish, and his family's there with him. He has actually had 3 viral videos that have gone viral on Facebook. And guys, that means you're getting a ton of hits. And I am so proud. I'm so honored to have you with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe McCloskey. Joe, thank you for being here, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a nice introduction. Thank you.
Oh, man, you are so welcome. Bradley and I are both honored and excited. This is like Christmas morning for us to have you on the show. So talk to us a little bit. I guess let's go back. We'll start back from my introduction there. Tell us a little bit about your dad in terms of what he did and his commercials that kind of made the light bulb come on for you.
Yeah, what my dad did was he focused on his family with advertising his business. So at the time, there was a lot of other car dealerships that would focus on their business, right, in town. They would advertise their lot and their inventory and their financing. And what my father did was he just advertised his family. And he developed a commercial. And in the commercial, he had my mom talk about how he sold the truck and not the kids. And he had all of us kids in the back of the truck. That commercial has followed me all my life. So when I got into advertising, marketing on Facebook, I realized that nobody's going to follow me because I'm an insurance agent. No one's going to follow my agency because they're interested in my business. Exactly. You know, what people follow on Facebook is families, right?
Joe, let me let me stop you right there. Are you telling me that I can't get 45 million viewers on a Facebook live video talking about uninsured motorists? Is that what you're trying to tell me right now?
Yes. I'm exactly telling you. Nobody cares.
Right.
Nobody cares about that. There's something different with younger people and how they process information and older people and how they process information. Right. And I can't really put my finger on it, but I just know people filter information differently, and they have a huge BS meter. So if you go online and you talk about uninsured motorists and position yourself as an expert, people are just automatically turned off by that. Mm-hmm. You know, what they're more interested is having a relationship online, but they don't want to have a relationship with you in the physical space, but online they do.
So your dad made videos with you and I'm assuming your brothers and sisters in the car, and that's what sort of gave you the idea to do sort of the same thing in a 21st century world with your kids.
Yeah, I knew I had to, right? That's the reason why my dad outperformed everybody else and he became the number one dealer in the country. I think it was like in 2014, was because he focused on promoting his family and not his business. So I just took that and copied it. I kind of took it to a different level because of Facebook, but that's where it came from.
So talk about a little bit about what gave you the idea. Describe the video to those who have not seen it and what gave you the idea to do it, and just take us from the start.
Sure. How it started is I realized what didn't work, right? What doesn't work is mail, right? That mail doesn't work because mail is super expensive. And the only thing, older folks open up mail, but younger folks, the only time younger people open up the mail is when it says IRS on it, right? That's the only time they open up their mail. The other way to reach out to people and communicate to them is by cold calling, right? But the problem is with cold calling now, and I did that for a long time, but the problem with cold calling is it's so regulated and illegal. I used to have an auto dialer where I could dial like 6 people at a time, and I would just sit on the phone and ask maybe 30 or 40 people a day if they wanted a quote. And just by working the numbers, you would get a quote. But that's illegal now. You can't do that, right? So how do you communicate to a younger generation nowadays? The only way to reach people is on social media, right? So when I first started with these videos, I would get like 3,000 or 4,000 views,
which is a lot.
And I would just look at it.
Let's be honest. There's a lot of insurance agents out there. I mean, if I do a video and I get 3,000 or 4,000 views, I'm excited.
Well, yeah, and to get that same hit off of a mailer, you figure, well, you're paying 49 cents for a stamp, not including all the other expenses. You know, to do the same thing off of mail is $1,500.
Right.
You can do it on Facebook for free.
Absolutely.
That's how you generate business is that people will comment on your video, right? So a lot of people ask me, well, how much did you sell off of that $45 million? I really didn't sell a whole lot because it went global, and I'm only licensed in the state of Colorado. I sell more off of the videos that have like 3,000-4,000 hits, and what people will do is they'll comment under your video. And when they comment under your video on your Facebook business page, you can click on message, that you can send them a message. And what I did is I just developed a simple woo-foo form that asked 6 basic questions to generate a quote. So I would click on that message after they commented on my video and ask them, hey, thanks for commenting and liking my video. Can I send you a quote? A lot of times they would say, sure. So then they would fill out the form. I'd get the email, do the quote, and I would contact them that way. And doing that, you know, in the beginning was probably I probably got like 15 to 20 policies for free doing that.
So, Joe, let me ask you a question. We have roughly 250 insurance agents that listen to this podcast each week. When you're talking to them right now about what they need to do and how they need to approach this, what advice would you have for them? And I guess one thing I'm hearing you say, and I was actually listening to another podcast last week, and it was specifically geared towards Instagram. And the podcast host was a great podcast, and it was talked about, I'll tell you who it was Andy Frisillo, and he was talking about that the big companies now, you know, the guys like BMW, Mercedes, Apple, those types, Disney, those types of companies are quickly realizing that on Instagram, it's not about the number of people that follow you, it's about engagement. And that is exactly what you're saying right now. It was the people that engaged you, that commented on your stuff on Facebook. Those are the people that you felt like you had actually a shot at getting their business. So right. I guess my question to you, and I've taken a long way around getting to that, is what do you feel like, just as insurance agents around the world, what can they do a better job of or start doing a better job of to get that engagement on Facebook and coming up with some of this creative stuff that you've been able to do?
Well, the first thing that you got to do is you got to figure out what you're interested in, right? Like you got to figure out what your interests are. Well, let me back up a little bit. The first thing you got to do is you got to choose a medium, right? Because like there's all these different social media sites,
right?
And you can go down a rabbit hole with each and every one of them. So you kind of have to pick one and stick to it, right? And each one has a different formula. Facebook right now is where it's at, but it's getting really expensive. So it may not, I might have to choose another medium soon. But so once you choose a medium with Facebook, I'll just say Facebook because that's what I know. You got to find out what you're interested in. So, like me, it's my family. Some people don't have a family, so it might be animals. Some people are interested. It's whatever. If you're interested in kayaking, if you're interested in hiking, if you're interested in sports, whatever it is. And then after you figure out your interest, then what you do is you go and you find related groups in your area that you can sell to, and you join those groups on Facebook, right? Then what you do is you friend all those people on Facebook in that group, and you build an audience on your personal page that has the same interests. And then what you do after that is you go and you start posting videos that are related to those interests on your business page, and then you share it on your personal page.
So you're learning your audience and curating the content around your audience, sort of.
Based on their interests.
Yeah, exactly.
My Facebook ads are filtered by the interest that they're filtered by is by people that are interested in family, humor, right?
Right.
But the first way you build it is off your personal page because it's free, right? So then you like, say you're interested in hiking. What you're doing is you're going on hikes and you're wearing your hat that represents your company, and then call to action on your shirt or something like that. And then you go on a hike and you let everybody see it, and then you just kind of show them who you are and what you represent. And then you post that video on your personal page and in those groups, if they let you. And then what happens is that eventually those people will start following your business page just because you're doing things that they're interested in.
Right.
And then you start boosting those posts based on people's interests. So like for me, if I boost a post that's going to be boost on, I'm going to target people in Colorado who like family and humor. And then that's where I pay the money at. And then that's how I start building my following. I hope that makes sense.
No, it does. It makes perfect sense.
So take us with the fish video. I want the nitty-gritty, the stuff that nobody else knows, and you and I kind of talked about it a little bit. Take us from the start.
Well, I'll tell you guys a huge secret of mine, because all my stuff is methodical. What I do is I take what I'm interested in, family humor, and then I search it on YouTube and I see which videos get the most hits, and then I duplicate it.
Okay. So that's sort of like what Gary Vee says. Find out what makes a video go viral. Find out what you have to do in the first 5 seconds of that video to make it go viral, and do that.
Yeah. So all I did was I just was searching on YouTube for family funny videos, and I copied it.
So somebody else had already done that video or something similar to it?
Something similar. You know, like if you pull up YouTube, you'll see for the last few years people have been eating that fish.
Right.
So is that where you discovered the fish?
Yeah.
What's the name of the fish?
It's like Stromberg.
And it's the stinkiest fish in the world.
Yeah. Like if you YouTube stinky food, then or challenges or stuff like that, you'll see the people doing those challenges. What I'll do is I'll find I'll YouTube family funny challenges, and then I'll see what other people are doing, and then my family will do it, and I'll just post it on my Facebook page.
Right. Talk about the day that you posted the video, and this is a question I've been dying to ask you. At what point were you like, holy crap? Now, when I do videos, I shoot them, edit them, and post them all within the same probably hour. I'm assuming that video didn't need a whole lot of editing, minus editing throw up out. And, at what point, did you post it? Give us the timeline of when you posted it and after that.
When I posted it, I didn't really think of anything. The weird thing about good content, man, is you don't really know what's good. You just don't know what's good, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So I just posted it. And then within 3 days, it had like 1.5 million. And my phone started blowing up. And then all of a sudden, I started getting all these Swedish people sending me recipes.
Wow. Now, Joe, in that 3-day period when it started, it got to the 1.5, are you getting media contacting you, wanting to interview you at that point?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I got interviewed by a lot of, here's the thing, and I got interviewed by a lot of media, but when you go viral like that, what you got to do, and I didn't know this at the time, but if you go viral, you have to contact a copyright company, right? Because people will steal that video. So like I contacted Jukin Media, Jukin Media, and I had them help me with that. The way you make money off of viral videos is to license them through those companies.
So
right?
people, so that's to prevent people from capturing an organic copy of that video through one of these bootleg sites and then posting it and using it on their own, right?
Yeah. So when I started going viral, I'll just be honest with you. I was like, how do I make more money off of this?
Sure.
I targeted the Ellen Show employees. I blasted it over there.
Yeah.
Try to get on the Ellen Show,
Right.
That's a really good idea.
That is a fabulous idea. So did you end up making,
Yeah.
I mean, once you contacted the Jukin Media people, did you end up making some money off the video at all?
No, I haven't. I don't really understand that part of it,
Yeah.
right? Like I just knew what was happening is that it was getting posted all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And I had, people were using it to drive business to their websites, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I knew that I didn't want that to happen, so I contacted them. And the thing is you got to use one of those companies, because the only other way to do it is hire a lawyer yourself and then send out cease and desist orders.
Mm.
But probably more trouble than it's worth.
Yeah, where do you even start with that? Who do you contact? I don't know if you guys ever dealt with lawyers, but you got to kiss a lot of frogs to get a good lawyer.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I just contacted them. The reason why I chose Jukin Media is because I did some research, and if you guys remember Chewbacca Lady, they made Chewbacca Lady
Right.
$500,000 or something like that. But so far, nothing.
Right.
How many views did Chewbacca get?
160 million.
That's a lot. So let's go back to subliminal advertising again, and I think it's something that I think it's something that I've been doing a lot of without knowing I was doing it. Actually, on all the stuff I post on Instagram and even Facebook for that matter, I always include my web address, which is theinsuranceguyonline.com. I send that to Fonto, Phonto, the picture. If I'm posting a picture, and I always add that web address on there, and I think what I was doing without knowing I was doing it was each picture I post has that subliminal website address on there, or if somebody does want to contact me, they can get on there. But
is it a blunt call to action on the picture itself?
no, it's just my web address is all it is.
He'll post a picture of himself working out and have the website on there.
Right. But go ahead.
I would even go a little bit more subliminal. For me, that's almost a little upfront. See, like if I was scrolling down a feed and I saw that, and I just saw a picture of you, and then I saw a website really in front of you.
Well, it's kind of in the background. It's kind of in the background of all my pictures, like small font, like you can almost barely read it.
What I do is I just try to pique enough interest just to let them know what I'm doing, right? So I have 126,000 followers, right? And when I post a video, probably only like 10% of people actually see it. So it's like 12,000 people. That's still a lot of people that I can stay in front of for free. So I'll post a video, and I'll just have a little reminder somewhere on the video on me, or like I used to wear a shirt that says "Call me for a quote" on my shirt, or I'll have one of my daughters wear a shirt or something, just to let people know what I do. That's it, just to let them know. And with Facebook, they'll just message you. I mean, the whole idea is that eventually down the road, they're going to get upset with their insurance company or want to leave them for whatever reason. And they're like, hey, well, let's just contact that guy on Facebook. We always see on Facebook, and then they'll instant message you.
Right.
There's really no reason for like a website or anything like that.
Okay.
If they know what you're doing, in my opinion, that's good enough. So because they'll reach out to you when they're ready.
As long as they know that you're the insurance guy, you're the guy that sells insurance, and then when they're ready to buy it, they'll call and yeah. Especially,
you just got to stay in front of them,
right?
And you figure that, like with me, I have 20,000, 10% actually see it, so that's 12,000. Well, you take 12,000 people. Well, how many people out of those 12,000 are going to want to get a quote?
Well, and it's like you said earlier, you get most of your business from the videos. You get 3,000 or 4,000 views, because let's be honest, 3,000 or 4,000 interested buyers are way better than 24 million uninterested buyers who are in Sweden.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And if they like your video, you just do a little research. Who liked my video? Okay. Well, then you find out who they are, send them a message on Facebook, say, hey, thanks for liking my video. I appreciate it. Do you want a quote? Just put a little LOL after it. And they say yes. Then you take that Woofoo and you shorten it with the Bentley link and you send it over to them.
Right.
And I just say, it's 6 questions and I'll give you a quote.
And Woofoo is a great tool. If you guys are not using Woofoo, that is designed for insurance people. I mean, anybody that you have to capture information, it's phenomenal.
So,
Yeah.
so Joe, I've got one last question for you, okay? So most insurance agents, they just don't have, and I just talked about this on a previous podcast of ours, most insurance agents just are not going to get on Facebook and do a Facebook Live video, period. Obviously, you broke through that, what I call resistance, like the damn Kool-Aid man. Not only did you do a video, but you've done videos that probably you're in the top 1% of people that have ever done a Facebook Live video, which is incredible. So what do you think made that part of you that most people go, oh man, I could never do something like that? Was it your past of your dad doing what he did that just kind of, maybe because you were a part of that and that just didn't have whatever mechanism usually doesn't allow people to do that? Or what do you think was the reason you were able to do it, just from a personality standpoint?
Or did that even cross your mind?
A lot of it has to do with money, man. I mean, like, really, like, what else works? I mean, how do you communicate with the customer now? I mean, seriously, you're going to go on a website and you're going to spend $20 for a lead that like 15 other agents are calling on, and they're going to recall you. Like, the reason why, I guess for me, was like desperation, right? Like,
that's a damn good reason.
Like, it was free. I like generating free business. It's so hard to generate business and have your marketing costs be below your new business commission. Right. I mean, when the government made it so you can't cold call anymore, and then, I mean, what's after that? I mean, door knocking. I mean, I have the worst self-esteem when I door knock. And then when you door knock, you only hit like 15 people in an hour. And then you can't. These lead providers are terrible, and everybody knows that. I mean,
so why not use Facebook and knock on 50,000 doors?
Exactly.
Yeah, knock on 50,000 doors. You get it for free. Look, man, the basic thing I know is that money follows attention, right? So I just knew that if I just got attention, money would follow, and that's. That's the whole reason why I'm doing the podcast with you guys. I mean, that's probably the reason why you guys are doing the podcast.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah, no doubt.
How can I get attention without spending money?
Right.
I can't take credit for this saying, but I'm going to do it anyway. I had a buddy of mine tell me a few months ago, he said, I was complimenting him on his persona that he had created on social media for his particular business. And he said, Scott, I'm going to tell you something, and I don't want you to ever forget this. He said, the more times you see me on your phone, the more money I'm going to make. And I thought, I'll be damned if you're not right. That is exactly right.
Yeah, exactly. If somebody doesn't like posting a video of themselves, they just got to use social media in a different way to communicate.
There's ways to do it, but I think certainly now in this day and time, video is certainly the way to go.
It is king.
Yeah, do you guys mind if I got two guys that I learned a lot from about this stuff, and I want to be able to share who like basically trained me.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
The first guy that taught me a lot that I know about social media, I highly recommend, is Sean Mathis with AAIU. He has an incredible course, and I actually learned a lot from him on his. He has like a crash course, and then the second gentleman who I learned a lot from is Nick Carpenter, is Legion Loan Officers.
How did you meet these guys or get in touch with them? I mean, what was that process?
Well, what you do is you go in and you type in, like insurance training, and you just click on Facebook that you're interested in it, and then you'll start getting a bunch of advertising from different guys. Yeah, I knew social media was the way to go. I just didn't know how to do it, and there's so much more to it that you guys probably know about, that like working Edge Rank and stuff like that, in order to be successful, that you have to do. So that you have to go and you have to spend the $2,000 to get it trained up and then start doing this.
And who did you say Nick was with again? Legion Loan what?
LegionLoanOfficers.com.
Okay, officers.com. Okay.
Well, wrapping up, Joe, any final thoughts you'd like to tell everybody?
No, that was it. I had a good time. Thanks, guys.
Oh man, thank you for being on this podcast, guys. We've said it before. We'll say it again. If people don't know you, they're not going to do business with you. And as an insurance agent, I tell people all the time, rewards come from action, not discussion. And I think Joe is a perfect example of somebody that, as he put it, through desperation, rose up through his wanting to reach more people and get more business. He rose up and got on there and has created some incredible Facebook videos that have done something that most people just won't ever be able to do and can't do. But I just want to tell you again how much I appreciate you coming on the show today.
Joe, how can people follow you?
They could just go to Joe McCloskey on Facebook. That's my page. Or they can friend request me. I think I only have like 2,000 friends. I think Facebook lets you go to 4,000. I actually, if guys are out there and they're interested in this stuff, I want them to contact me because it's so complicated that you need to have a network of guys to work with in order to stay ahead of the curve. And I'll tell you one more thing. I don't think everybody's saying, "Oh, well, these big corporations are gonna come in and start competing." I don't think so, man. I think it moves so fast that I don't think these guys can. And these big corporations, man, they're so worried about scale and automation. That's their big things, right? Scale and automation. These social media sites are all worried about relationships. And you lose the relationship when you scale and automate. And I don't think these big corporations get that. So I think, this is the wave of the future, and you have to have a network of guys to communicate with to stay ahead of the curve. So I'd appreciate it. People send me a Facebook friend request, just tell me that they listen to this podcast, they're in the social networking, and I'll accept your French,
Absolutely. And Joe, we will 1000% link you, how to get in touch with you, into the show notes of this show.
Okay.
We'll get you some traffic from this.
That's
all right. Awesome.
Thank you for being on the show again today. We loved having you, and we hope I'm definitely going to friend request you and hopefully stay in touch, man. I want to do that, and I don't know what your next viral video may or may not be, but I'll be certainly looking forward to that. Insurance agents, guys, as I say every episode, rewards come from action, not discussion. You need to get your ass out there. You need to go sell something today for you and your family. You need to write good business for the insurance agency that you represent, and you need to write good business for the companies that those agencies do represent. My name is Scott Howell, and this is the Insurance Guys Podcast. Have a great day. See you. Thanks for listening to the Insurance Guys Podcast. If you need to know more about me or you need to get in touch with Scott, you can always reach me at theinsuranceguyonline.com or email me at iprotectins@gmail.com. And if you need to get in touch with Mr. Bradley Flowers, go to bradleyflowersinsurance.com or email him at bradley@saralandinsurance.com. Guys, we love you. Thank you so much for listening. We look forward to being with you again real soon on the next episode of The Insurance Guys. Take care.